Today I'm going to show you guys 5 ways to build mob farms in Terraria. So let's go. The first mob farm I'm going to show you, well, the second one, technically the first one is this here. If you copy this, you'll have your mob farm started right away, the more advanced one. But this mob farm that I'm going to show you is literally at the beginning of the game. All you need for this is a little bit of lava. So if you ever are digging and you start using life crystals and you get a message that says a goblin army is approaching and you're like, oh god, I'm not prepared for this, just do what I'm about to do here. So you dig across, and it's usually better if you have 2 blocks above you rather than 3, and you simply dig across like this, dig a little bit of a hole at the top like so, and put in 1 drop of lava, 1 bucket. Don't put too much in or you'll end up destroying the coins that spawn when the enemies get into the lava. Now this is obviously the most basic form of mob farm that you could possibly make. This is literally just to get through the goblin army when it first attacks. And you're going to have to try and dodge obviously the mages who could shoot through blocks. And best of luck trying to get this lava out of here when you're done with it. I usually just leave this lava here for the entire time. You can make it a bit longer as well if you like. So I'm going to show you how this works, and I'm also going to show you how these work at the same time. First of all, I just want to show you these structures. Now, when you're building a structure like this, I have a video on how to make this perfectly, and you can check that in the top right of your screen. However, just in theory, what I would recommend that you do is, let's get out our ruler real quick, and we'll turn off auto pause. You're building a structure that is roughly 26 blocks across, and you want it to be 10 blocks high in the middle, and you cascade down each time. So it's 9 by 9 here. Obviously it's not counting the bottom. Let's see if I can get that included. So it's 10 by 10 here, then 9 by 9, then 8 by 8, then 7 by 7, and you use the hammer to flatten out the surface so that it ends up exactly like this. Let me see if I can show you what it looks like. Normally it looks like that normally, and it's a bit awkward trying to get up and stuff, so you just hammer that out and it goes in a straight line. Roughly about 7 blocks across for the lava in the middle. So you're roughly looking at about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 9 total, and 7 I'd say minimum in the middle, just so the enemies can jump in and things like unicorns can't jump over the trap. And then you want to dig underneath, use a trap door so enemies can't get in, and you just want to make sure that your head's touching the bottom of the lava, like literally 1 block in between you and the lava, and just chill in here. You could put NPCs in here, you could put fishing areas in here. Like if you have a blood moon going, you can fish in this water. If you need extra lava, you can just use your lava. You don't need 2 of them. I have 2 of them just because I want to make a YouTube video earlier, but honestly you could just have it like this and you'll be perfect. Now I'm going to spawn in the blood moon real quick, and I'm going to show you how effective this is early game for a blood moon. And obviously I'm going to show you how effective this is for a blood moon. And we still have 3 other forms of farm to show you. So we're not even done yet. Now, this is obviously late game blood moons. So there's some extra enemies, and there's enemies spawning that are from the mushroom biome. But as you can see, the only thing really that you have to worry about is enemies that go through blocks. Otherwise, you're perfectly safe. So you may have noticed when you're playing Terraria that a lot of people in their worlds, if you ever join friends or if you ever watch streams, have something like this set up. Now, just to make it a little bit more clear about what I'm showing you, I'm going to add a little wall in here. And I'm going to go back into my little house. Now, let's pretend that this is your house where your NPCs live, okay? And you have holes on either side of your base where enemies fall in and they have lava underneath. This is a very common one that a lot of streamers and a lot of Terraria players do. And this will be a lot bigger in your playthrough. This is just a kind of like miniature version of what I'm trying to show you. So the first thing you need to do is you have to make sure that your NPCs don't walk out of the house and fall in the lava themselves. So usually what I like to do here for this one is I like to put my doors in here. So put your doors in 1 or 2 blocks above, and if you find that your NPCs are jumping out of the house and falling in the lava, you can make your blocks even higher, or you can make it so that there's only the bottom floor, for example, which has a door. The NPCs don't have access to it, so you can kind of like have your NPCs on the second floor only, and no NPCs on the bottom floor. That's only for you, so they all live up here. And as I say, you have a door here. And what's happening here is these enemies won't be able to open the doors. They'll jump at the door, but they won't be able to open it. They'll jump across this gap and they'll fall straight into this lava. And if you have like an underground area underneath this lava, similar to this one over here, you'll be able to collect all these coins safely. And it's a lot easier to do this if you have like an entire area set up, an entire town set up. But this is one of the best mob farms in the game if you just want to chill out at your house. I don't usually build these anymore because I don't usually like to stay at my house. Plus, if you're in your town, your NPCs are going to stop the enemies from spawning anyway. So this is very handy early game, especially if you want to avoid fighting the goblin army, for example. But it's unnecessary and I don't usually use it anymore, but feel free to use it. So this is my Rod of Discord farm, and as you can see, it's the same shape as the farm that I showed you on the surface. Once you know how to build one of these structures, you're going to be able to build them all over your world for different things. Like, for example, Rod of Discord farm. Over here, we have a surface mimic farm. You can farm mimics in hardwood on the surface if you didn't know. And over here, I have one of my key farms for the vampire knives. So you can put these all over the place. They're very, very handy. For the Rod of Discord farm, I also have a video going more into detail. Just be careful to make sure that you use the black shadow candle, simply because it allows the elementals to spawn while you're not moving. Otherwise, you're going to have to use some sort of trick, and there's no need to use a trick if you have the black candle on you. So the next farm I'm going to show you is a great way to make money, and that is if you are down at the Shimmer and you find your Shimmer, build a little house and put some NPCs in there. If you put 3 NPCs or more, you'll end up making a town. And if you make a town in Terraria and you have gem trees, then gem critters will spawn. And if you have enough of these gem trees, then you're going to make a lot of money. Now, I planted a lot of these myself, but in the Shimmer area, a few of these spawn naturally, and it's the perfect place to spawn these things as well. So just really quickly, I'm going to turn off my book and kill all these normal rabbits. I apologize to the rabbits, but we have work to do. And there's our critters. However, what we're going to do is we're going to allow our critters to jump into the Shimmer. Now, it takes a while for them to start spawning, but once they do, you're going to have so many critters running towards you, and they're all going to turn into different types of gems when they enter the Shimmer. You're going to have so many gems, you won't know what to do with, and you just go off and sell those for some gold, and that means you can afford the Goblin Tinkerer if you want to do some reforging or anything. It is so good. Now, don't forget, you have to have a town, and you have to have the gem trees in the same place, and you could probably put it a little bit closer to the Shimmer than what I have, but you don't absolutely have to. As long as you're close enough, it should be okay. As long as they're spawning off screen. They'll spawn on both sides as well, which is brilliant. If you're close enough to your NPCs, I'll just make sure I'm a little bit closer just in case, they'll actually start spawning on this side too, and you'll have gems coming from both sides jumping into the Shimmer. The last farm I want to show you today is the Slime Staff farm, and this farm works on pretty much anything that drops items from a statue, so it doesn't have to be just for slimes. So I'm going to turn this on and slimes are going to start dying, and you're going to get plenty of gel, but you will also get the slime staff. Now, gel is unfortunately a white rarity, so you have to pick it up pretty much straight away or it'll be despawned by the lava. So just as long as you don't put too much lava in here, it's fine. But as you can see, we have lava and we have our statues and we have our Stardust Dragon killing the slimes. Let me show you how to set it up real quick. So just to be clear, you don't need all this green grass on the side. This is just an experiment I'm doing. I'm just going to turn this off temporarily. Also, this structure can be a little bit smaller as well, especially if you want to pick the slime up from above. you could have your structure, or you could have your like platforms just above the slime statues instead of all the way up here. I just did this for how it looks. I wanted it to look nicer. So pretty much we're looking at wiring here. So where is my grand design? It is here. I'm going to show you the wiring. I have a 1 second timer. I have a 4 second timer. This is a 1/4 second timer that I bought from the mechanic. It's very easy to get. Just buy it. And you put that for a 1/4 second timer through the 3 slime statues that are sitting in lava, and you have to add the lava last, and don't add too much lava or you'll destroy your slime statues. 1 drop of lava from a bucket, and also put the statues down first, otherwise you won't be able to put the lava down, as I said. And yeah, just pretty much either put your platform right next to the statues so that you can collect the slime when they come out, or go underneath it, so like I do, so that you can collect the slime here. And if you have a staff, like a dragon staff as well, makes it even better. And one reason why I made this so big actually is so I can run a Discord into it and get in and out of it very quickly. Now, if you're just doing it with the lava itself, it's a bit slower. So if you have the imp staff, or if you have something that kills these a bit faster, then you're going to have so much gel. And then you have a chance of getting the slime staff, which is going to be a very rare drop. So you might be here a while. As a bonus, I want to show you this monstrosity here. Now, this monstrosity here is a very useful farm, but I don't generally use it in my playthroughs because it's a pain in the ass to set up, and it's not really worth it, especially with other ways of making money. However, you don't need this to be a graveyard either, by the way. It could just be a normal biome. This guy here, which I'll link to you in the right top right of your corner, is a money farm, and you use the slime staff that you got from the previous farm to make unlimited money by standing in this water here. And because you have the water specifically like this, your head is going to be above the water, and these enemies are going to spawn. I'm actually just going to get rid of my Stardust Dragons so you can see 1 or 2 of them, and they'll get stuck here, and your slime staff will pretty much do basic damage to them, and you'll make loads of money. Now, it's a little bit awkward to make, especially smoothing out the sides, because you're trying to stay underwater and you're trying to come up for air, and it's very hard to move underwater as well. So as I said, I don't usually make these. This is probably the only playthrough I have one of these in at the moment, but it's just a bonus one for you. Best of luck if you want to make a money farm also. Thank you very much for watching today's video. Let me know if you have any questions. Let me know if you have any mob farms that you'd also recommend, and I'll see you guys in the next one.